Hi folks, Jack O'Malley with my weekly update as to what's going on in Lansing. Try to get it out on Wednesday nights, but it's been a very busy 10 days or so. So here it is Thursday morning, and I'll get it posted here as soon as I finish. Try to keep it to about 10 minutes. Yesterday, a lot of debate. I'm honored. It's been a very busy week. I've been involved in a lot of things. Yesterday, the House passed a package called SOAR. With the idea that what we're trying to do is economic stimulus to attract and retain businesses here in the state of Michigan. It creates a fund that there's a strategic site fund and a critical infrastructure fund, and this money would be funded initially with a one-time ARPA dollars, this is an important situation in the state. I know a lot of people, there was 10, 15, 20 years ago, there was the mega credits, which were just tax credits. And a lot of people see this as corporate welfare and that sort of thing. I am one of the sponsors on the package, and I will defend the package this way. Yes, we will be helping businesses either come to the state of Michigan or retain the ones we have here, and I'll get to that in just a quick second. But we've learned a lot over the last 10, 15, 20 years about stimulus and how to help and work with companies and employers of all sizes. So there might be a bad taste in everybody's mouth for what happened 20 years ago, but I would say that we've learned a lot about this economic development package, and it's reflected in this. There is oversight by the legislature. Locals have to have inputs. This will help clear and ready sites for development. Will also help with critical infrastructure. The governor and Michigan, the Economic Development Corporation could go out and negotiate and talk with these companies, but the final say comes to the people and the legislature, and I think that's huge. That's all of the branches of government working together, and that's a good sign, and that's a good thing. Now, a lot to talk about, but I guess I throw this out here because this is all just so happening and so fresh. If you read about this stuff in the days to come and you hear reports, know that that's what I'm talking about. And some of the southern states, Kentucky, Tennessee, and others, they've created, I believe it's called a auto pact, and they're all working together to bring our auto jobs south. And so we need to be in the game. I say, people say, well, this is not free market. I would say we have to realize that, yes, businesses compete against each other, but so do states. And we have to make sure that we have the things that we need to attract and retain. Now, here's another thing that I think is important about this economic development package. There are, in the site portion of all of this, there's the mega site, 500 plus acres, and then others, right? Districts like mine, a 10 or 15 acre parcel of land for somebody to build a business on that might employ 50 people isn't a big deal to Grand Rapids or Detroit, but it's huge for a Manistee or a Ludington or a Traverse City or Beulah, right? That would be huge. So I think that as we look at this and we move forward, you're going to hear a lot of attacks on this because it's corporate welfare. I think it is a much more nuanced and smart approach. So more on it in the future. There's a lot going on. You're going to read a lot about it, but I just wanted you to be aware of it. But I am proud to be a part of that package, and I think it will do great things. Is it perfect? Nothing's perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it is, but I think that there's tons of checks and balances. Maybe next week I'll do a segment just on this package because it's very nuanced, it's very detailed. So when you just hear people say corporate welfare, tell them to read the bill and talk to people involved. I think you'll see. Pardon me. Also, other things happening. The House Appropriations Committee met yesterday to discuss a supplemental to expand early treatment capacity for COVID-19, easing worker shortages in the healthcare system, and provide more testing in schools. Also, additional monoclonal treatments. We really need to be thinking outside the box and looking at all aspects of this virus, not just the vaccine. I'm not going into all the details about the vaccine. We've done it before. But I think this is a forward-looking appropriations bill, and I think it's very important on that. Some of the other things in this bill, nursing home money would go to nursing home crowding. There would be $10 million to help convert nursing home rooms from multiple to single occupancy, so that we can keep our elderly a little more safe in those situations. There would also be recruitment and retention to healthcare workers, and I think that's important. Now, I want to touch base, and I know I'm flying through all of this again, lots of details, but I want to follow up on something from last week. I was talking about those nursing bills, about retaining nurses, and I do one of these every week. For a long time, I was doing them every day. So I talk about a lot of things, and I realize on any given conversation, I might not address a specific issue that I've talked about 20 times. Nursing. We need more nurses. We need to retain our nurses. And yes, of course, I agree that having mandates for our nurses and mandates for anybody is foolish. And when a hospital mandates that a nurse or a doctor has to have a vaccine and they leave, that's a way to retain nurses and doctors. Don't mandate it. These are people that worked through this thing without a vaccine a year ago. They're healthcare workers. We all have a right to choose. And if they choose not to get the vaccine, that's their business. And so I get you. I saw the comments. I agree. Number one way to start recruiting and retaining your nurses and doctors is don't force them out. Don't force them out. Obviously, that's there. I've talked about it other times, didn't last week, but I still think we need to do more to help our nursing schools and our community colleges provide that, especially in the north. And yes, I know there's nursing shortages everywhere in the state. All right, keep it moving here. The Michigan Catastrophic Claims Association announced that in the second quarter of 2022, everyone who had paid in will get a $400 per vehicle check and rebate on that. So just an FYI, second quarter of next year. What else is happening here? Oh yeah. So we, in oversight, we took testimony. The National Guard, people can get religious exemptions and medical exemptions. Well, the National Guard is being real putzes about this. And one of the things I brought up is the fact that some of our guardsmen have been threatened with dishonorable discharge if they refuse to get the vaccine. And just real quick, dishonorable discharge in the military could mean you could lose all benefits as a veteran. You're forbidden from owning a firearm, forbidden from working for the government, forbidden from taking out a bank loan. They lose access to public assistance and often have their voting rights taken away in many states. Finding a job with a dishonorable discharge is also harder to do. And I asked the Michigan National Guard, renounce the fact that you take that off the table. If you're going to discipline, it's the military. I get it. But dishonorable discharge for not taking a massively controversial COVID vaccine? That's a hammer that they need to come out publicly and say they're not going to use. And the brass that was there was hemming and hawing. Well, all right, maybe you're not going to do it. I got it. But your lower rank, folks are threatening your troops with dishonorable discharge if you don't follow the order. That's wrong. So I continue in my lightning round here. I thought this was funny. We've talked about the Independent Redistricting Commission. I have my issues with it. It's there. It's law. It is what it is. But one of the arguments was the legislature, when redistricting, is not transparent. It's all gerrymandering, and it's all terrible. So people voted in the Michigan Independent Redistricting Commission with the goal of transparency and all open meetings. Several media groups have filed a lawsuit on Tuesday demanding greater transparency from the Independent Redistricting Commission and want to know why they met behind closed doors and what was happening there. I know that bunch thinks they're doing a good job, but I think when people really see the end results of how the districts were drawn and what they're doing, you will see the folly of the Michigan Independent Redistricting Commission. But again, it is what it is. I'm just telling you what I think. So when you see the end results, and we have this Charlie Brown Christmas tree, you can decide for yourself. And I'm going to end on kind of a tough note here, but I want to throw this out here, especially in light of what's been happening in the last few weeks. But there's a report out from the FBI and the University of Michigan. The number of Michigan teenagers killed by homicide jumped 70% from 50 in 2019 to 85 in 2020. And the numbers continue to climb. And one of they say social media, encouraging theft and violence. They cite TikTok's devious licks trend, which encourages students to steal items from schools or slap a teacher challenge. So, social media, there's a lot of good things about it. I like to think that this update is a good thing. There's a lot of bad out there. So, parents, I know it's tough. But I think you do need to monitor what your kids are watching, and I'm glad I don't have those school-age kids anymore. And down the road, my grandkids will be there. So my children, I know it's going to be tough. So hang in there, but do your best to monitor what your rugrats are watching and following on social media. Okay. All right, with that, like I said, a lot going on. Following, one other thing I'll throw in there. The Unemployment Insurance Agency, you know all about that. We've had all sorts of issues. I also have a bill that would create a citizen's advocate. This would be somebody who, when you're having troubles, not about your claim itself, whether it's fair or unfair, but I can't get through. There's nobody, how do I fill out this form? What do I do? Nobody at UAA is helping. This citizen advocate would be there to help, and it gives them some authority to do some things. So that bill is gone through committee. Hopefully we're going to vote that out pretty soon and get it to the House floor. But there are other reforms that we have with the unemployment agency, but I'm proud to have my name on that citizen advocate package. So there you go. Wanted to throw that out there too. So a lot going on. I'm over 10 minutes. I'm at 12. So I'm going to end there and wish you all a very good week, and we'll talk next. Bye-bye.